Yarg, you scurvy dogs, welcome to Falcon Plays Sunless Sea. That's enough of that voice, by the way. Welcome to Falcon Plays Sunless Sea. Falcon? Apparently I'm a mob boss now. Either way, welcome to Sunless Sea. It's a game that I've actually covered in the past. I did a preview video of it when it first hit early access on Steam quite a while ago. And it's a game that I always wanted to actually cover to a little bit of more of an extent than I normally did just a one-shot video of. And with that said, let's just get into the game here. We're going to do new game. Are you sure you want to start a new game? I absolutely am sure. 3 decades ago, in the reign of Victoria, London was stolen by bats. No kidding. Now it lies a mile below the surface. It was dreadfully inconvenient for everyone, but it opened a vast black ocean to you. Welcome to the undersea. Either way, you have to choose a path, so we're going to decide who we were and what you want to be. So, you now lodge in a room above the blind helmsman. So who are you? Were we a street urchin? With the street urchin, let's see, you will give a bonus to Veals, the skill of subtlety and evasion. Really good skill, as a matter of fact. A poet. This will give you a bonus to Pages, the skill of trickery and knowledge. We also have a veteran of the campaign of 68, which will give you a bonus to Iron, the skill of causing direct damage, which is really good, especially for, like, you know, a Neanderthal like me, which just wants to fight all the time. We also have an ordained priest. This will give you a bonus to Hearts, the skill of healing and morale. Not too bad. And a natural philosopher, which will give you a bonus to Mirrors, the skill of detection and perception. We're gonna go with the one for Iron, because I feel a bit more comfortable just kind of getting out there, causing damage as fast as possible, and getting the hell out of there. They will not trifle with you. You promise a job to your acquaintance, the shady cook. He'll do until you find someone less disgusting. Talk to him to find out why he went to Z. Alright, so we've acquired 25 iron. Our new total is 50. You have 1 shady cook. You have also acquired 20 echoes, which is now, we're up to 70. Echoes is basically your currency in the game. You were a wary soldier, now you're the captain, and you're a stranger. Quality has gone. Welcome to the world. Alrighty. So, now, what does winning mean to you? So, here is kind of what you want to choose. This will basically be your end goal. If you want to wrap up the game itself, even though it's kind of like a roguelike type of game, there is an end goal that if you actually accomplish this, then boom, you actually beat the game. So, one of our end goals could be your father's bones, which is your father was lost at Z. You never knew him, but you've often dreamed of him. Find and return his remains to London for a decent burial. There's fulfillment, which is gather 100 tales, learn all you can of the Z, write a masterpiece, and retire. And then there's wealth, which is, you know how it is to be poor. You're telling me. Now you want a mansion, servants, fine clothes, a family, perhaps. So we're gonna go with fulfillment, just because I kind of want to have that whole romanticism type of thing, where I just kind of like learn about the world and retire away like I'm fucking Ernest Hemingway or something. The last scrap of paper. Captain, in irregularity with the Harbinger's office. They wish to know, what term of address do you prefer ashore? So this will be basically what you want people to kind of know you as. I'm not sure if all this has any sort of really big impact on the story itself. I haven't really looked into that, so maybe there is, maybe there isn't, who knows. We could go with Madam, we could go with Sir, Citizen, My Lord, My Lady, and Captain. I'm gonna go just with Captain. Just basic. So Captain, last piece of advice, take chances. This captain will probably die. The Z is hungry, but each captain passes on lessons to the next. So again, this is kind of giving you a little bit of a hint where, you know, multiple runs is probably the best way to finally really persevere in this game, because honestly, early on, I found really, really difficult to kind of survive early on, because you eventually run out of echoes, you run out of fuel, you run out of food. There's a lot of things that could kill you in this game easily. So who are you? That's done, and we got all this done. Alrighty. So now we get to choose who we want as our captain. I'm gonna go with this fine gentleman over here, smelling this fucking wine and stuff. That's how much of a, you know, this guy is over here. Has like one of those cases of, you know, his shit don't stank type of thing going on. It was kind of like, Jeeves, yes, this fine wine. Probably an 89 Merlot. I'm not sure why I'm going with 89 Merlot. I don't know a dang about wine. I'm too poor for that. Just give me a 40 and I'm straight. So I'm gonna go with this guy. I'm gonna call him, Reginald, the captain, with his, glassed hand in wine. I'm not sure why I'm even talking like that anymore. Alrighty, so, advice for captains. This right here, you could read it over. This will tell you kind of like, it's kind of like a really long-winded tutorial to learn, what's going on out in the sea, how to deal with missions, how to deal with people, how to deal with combat. I've already done this, so, I'm not gonna do that, but for all of you people that are actually probably playing the game, what do you mean you people? For all of you viewers that might be playing the game, always be sure to go through this and just sell the book, because if you do sell the book, you get a free 50 echo. So from 70 you go to 120. Really easy money, so you might as well take advantage of it right there. Alrighty, so now that we've done all that, let's go and start, I guess exploring Fallen London over here. basically every time you hit a shore to like a big town or something like that, there's going to be a lot of options available to you, and sometimes you're not going to be able to do all of them because you require either a certain amount of echoes, you require stories, news, all of that we'll talk about once we get along, but not everything is initially open to you. Basically, the more time you spend out there, the more items you acquire, you open up different types of stories. So the game has a lot of set events, but there's also a lot of randomized events too, so it's a really good quality of mixture because not every run is going to be identical to the other one that you actually take, which is kind of like, you know, kind of like a roguelike game, obviously, since the game is kind of marketed as that, right? So your lodgings. Here you may catch up with your correspondence, rest, or retire altogether. From seafaring life, the better your lodgings, the better the quality of your retirement naturally. So what we're going to do is actually read the morning paper. This will give us a bit of news initially. So, news from abroad. The Canada is a threatening war. They always are. London's colonies on the Canadian coast want independence. They always do. The Untersee, the paper's report, has undergone another alteration. Not yet it hasn't, you'd know. Oh, a promotional coupon from Mrs. Plenty's Provisioners for a half cask of salt hearing. You could use that. So you gain one supply, which is actually food. Supply is actually your food, so you want to make sure that you have enough food when you're out in the sea. Otherwise, you're going to start resorting to cannibalism, eating your crew, and it's not good for business. So you got to definitely have enough food and enough fuel when you're out in the sea itself. So we've actually acquired that, so we got one extra supply, and we also have one recent news. The recent news you could actually trade for other information later on, and again, we'll cover that once we get to it. So it's always good to read that. That's a free news for you to kind of acquire. Now, rest in a room above the blind helmsman. If you don't have the echoes to go out roistering, best to stay home. This will reduce your terror, heal a wound, and give you a restful night. Terror is actually what you accumulate over time whenever you're out in the sea itself. The further you get away from fallen London, the faster your terror kind of rises. And if it reaches a really high point, you either start going batshit insane. However, there's also events that require you to have a significant amount of terror accumulated. So remember, it's not always a bad thing because some things are unlocked this way too. So it's kind of like, you know, how you're going to manage it yourself. But as a matter of fact, this one is over here locked. So the reason this is locked is because you need one terror, which we have 0. But this is only to be actually resting your room, and this will, resting your room and Fallen London will kind of clear out only 1 terror, but it does require a little bit of money for you to pay for the hotel, which is 10 echoes. So right now we don't need that, we're fine. Purchase of elegant townhouse, obviously we need a lot of money for that, which we don't have. And then we have right of will. This is what I talked about, the whole legacy thing. So whenever you kind of, should you die, this will ensure that your heir retains your lodgings and any heirlooms you've accumulated. So again, the game is actually kind of like put up in a way where a lot of multiple runs would actually be beneficial, assuming you're leaving your legacy behind. So back to the rest of the city, or you could click London card on the right. So I'm going to go back to the rest of the city over here. And what we're going to do is we're going to visit the Admiralty service office. They'll pay for information from the captains, find out what you know and how. So let's go over here. I'm pretty sure we won't be able to do much over here right now, but the more shores and other towns you visit, you could bring back news to the Admiralty office, and you need to acquire a certain amount of shores visited in order to actually meet with the Admiralty itself and then open up more quests. So as of right now, let's see, ask if there's anything in particular they need. Well, it can be reassured of your discretion. So unlock with favors, Admiralty, favor no more than 2, and unlock with objective. So right now we're going to do this one. Speak to your agent there and return. We'll see what you're rewarded with. So visit the port below and return to London. You can check the details in your journal at any time, which is going to be over here. So what they're giving us to do is actually go check out some shores, and like, you know, the more stuff you open up, the better chance you have to actually talk to the Admiral over here. So we have that one, and then over here is just to leave. So do you have an appointment? If I go to this one on here, he's going to be like, nah, you can't see him. You're a nobody. Get out of here. So it's going to tell you, survey 3 ports and return to win the Admiralty's approval. So that's done with over here. We're done over here. So let's go. Visit University. This is going to be unlocked with 1 secret, and Antiquary are no more than 0. So this one we do have, but we don't have any secrets yet. Again, you acquire secrets by going out in the sea, talking to people, etc., etc. So we can't do that either. And this is Carouse of Wolfstack Docks. This will reduce your terror. We have none right now, so we don't have to really worry about that. So this is going to be a low-risk challenge because your hearts is going to be over here. We have 27 of them. Your heart's quality gives you an 81% chance of success. So if we do pass this challenge, we will actually acquire a crew member. And let's see, no more than 9, which we have 8. So we're definitely about that little quota right there. And then it's also going to cost me 30 echoes. So it's going to be a 30 echo chance to get another crew member. So we're going to definitely take this and see what happens. You gain 2 crew members, so now we have 10. You lost the 30 echoes, right? And you succeeded in the hearts challenge. The higher the quality, the higher the chance of success. So There we go. We got some extra 2 crew members right there, which is always pretty good. And over here, you could put your ship in a dry dock to kind of heal it up and, you know, get it fixed up. But right now, we're in perfect shape, so not a big deal. There's also a mission over here. Offer passage to a Tome colonist. An immigrant will pay to be taken north to Vanderbride. This is one of the first missions you want to undertake. It's really easy to accomplish, so we're going to say yes. And then the Tome colonist is in your hole. Take them north to the colony of Vanderbride and sell them there. So we have 1 Tome colonist, and we have to take him up to Vanderbride. Good. That's done with, and now that's just about everything done over here. London, anything else? Not really. So I think we're ready to actually set sail finally over here. Once we take off over here, we want to go to Vanderbride, which is the first mission that we have with the Tome colonists, I do believe, right? So right now, we're just going to kind of move around over here. This actually works out, if you can see this over here, -2, -1. You could slow it down by hitting S, and that'll kind of slow me down. And if you hit W, it'll speed it up a little bit. So it takes a little bit of time. You could also use your full power to the engines. This actually has a little chance of blowing up your engine, so you might want to use it sparingly. But if you're kind of a little bit anxious like I am, you'll use the F key quite often to kind of speed it up a little bit. So as you can see, we're moving a bit faster, but our fuels are actually heating up. It's at 350 Fahrenheit, so not really the best thing. One of the things we want to do initially is probably hit up Hunter's Keep, which is one of the easier quests to kind of accomplish, or at least kind of opens up some new stories for us. So we're going to go over here before we head up north to Vanderbride. And the other thing that we need to talk about is our bat. And we have a bat of our own. Not Batman, but a bat. And we'll talk about that really soon. But first, let's come over here to Hunter's Keep. A quiet isle, a grand old house. A hump of dark rock swatted in mist like 100 other undersea islands. Hunter's Keep. So, a hump of dark rock swatted in mist like 100 other undersea islands. But here's a grand house. Windows aglow, lawns impossibly green and lush in the false starlight. Arrayed gravel paths. You stand on the dock of the sea nudges the ship's sides. An unexpected warm breeze carries the faintest trace of lavender. Present yourself to the house. Over here we can present ourselves to the house over here. This is going to be where like a few sisters kind of lie in wait. They're kind of like really sketchy. They're kind of really like covered in, or I guess shrouded in mystery. So we could do that one. We could also walk the gardens, which takes a couple of burly sailors with you just in case, but the gardens are tranquil as moonlight. And we could also reconnoiter the island. Fledgling cliffs, soft green lawns, a well tucked away in a soft ground, anything else. And you could also spy on the house. This place may not be as simple as it seems. A very modest challenge. Your veil's quality gives you a 75% chance of success. So we're going to try that out first and foremost. Just kind of like reconnaissance the house first and foremost and see what happens. So, we're going to spy on the house. And did we actually succeed? You did. Piano music drifts across the terrace. You peer through a half-open French window into a grand parlor, grand in size, if a little reduced in style by dust and neglect. A dark-haired, pale-skinned young woman bends earnestly over a piano keyboard. Another, fair-haired but unmistakably her sister, sprawls on the sofa with a book. A third sits by the fireplace, staring sorrowfully into the embers. Soon, she says, and the piano music falters and stops. We'll go hungry, and when the end will come for me, but not for you. The pianist raises her eyes from the keyboard. Hush. If you don't speak of it, she frowns. Has she seen you at the window? You withdraw. So you've gained 40 fragments, so it's we're up to 190. Fragments are actually used as a way to acquire more information, if I am correct here. So the more fragments you get, the better. You know something, I believe they also attribute to the pages, if I'm right. You've gained 40 fragments, you know something of Hunter's Keep, and you succeeded in the Veil's challenge. This will tell you if you succeeded or not. The higher the quality, the higher the chance of success. So, we have 40 because of that. Now, we could reconnoiter the island, or we could just present ourselves. Unlock with no more than 0 of port report. Let's actually reconnoiter the island a little bit and see what we do here. The sea's silence. Ships rarely come here, nothing changes, even the weather. The house is at the heart of the isle, the house, and the sisters, but the Admiralty may be happy to know that nothing's changed at least. So now you have 1 report of Hunter's Keep, so that's good. That's one of the things we could use for the Admiralty back home. That's one of the shores that we kind of need. We need 3 of them right now. So now that we've all done that, we're going to go over here and present ourselves to these ladies, and, you know, they're up to something. I mean, we don't know what they are, but, you know, they talked about, you know, going hungry and things of that nature, so, Knock and enter. A maid with smoldering topaz eyes shows you into the parlors with 3 young women await. A visitor, the youngest cries. The next youngest chuckles. The eldest sighs. Do excuse the indecorum, she says. Visitors are rare. You are very welcome. I am Cynthia. The noisy one is Phoebe. The cheerful one is Lucy. You're in a good time for lunch. Will you join us? So, they're asking us over here for lunch, even though they're apparently going to go hungry really soon. So again, really, really sketchy. So, we could do a luncheon with the sisters, Cynthia. Cynthia's the eldest, melancholy, pensive, occasionally dramatic. We could do a luncheon with the sisters, Lucy. Lucy, the middle sister, is sunny, restless, prone to giggles. And we also have Phoebe, His soft voice, watchful and unpredictable. And then there's news, which we have locked because we don't have actually any news to give them. So we're gonna go with Cynthia for this one, the eldest, the melancholy one. So we're gonna see what she's up to over here. Cynthia grabs your arm and whispers to you. Her eyes are wide and blue. Her hair is wild and tangled. Bats might nest in it. It seems to you that you're sitting on a hillside above a wide blue lake, listening to a story of a murder, an axe, a net, blood on scented water. Another chop? Cynthia asks. You've barely touched your food. Here, I'll give you the maid wrap something up for, I've had the maid wrap something up for you. You can't be hungry. It's not safe to be hungry. So you lost 30 hunger, which, you know, we didn't really have that much hunger right now, but, you know, either way, we at least got 30 hunger out of the way. You acquainted yourselves with the Sisters of the Keep. You also have one new accomplishment, which is the Salt's Attention. Iron remains unchanged at 50. You now have one Tale of Terror because of what she told us over here. Tale of Terror is also kind of like information you could trade. You have one terror point now, right? Yeah, terror 1. So our terror did go up 1 because of how fucking terrifying that tale of horror was, and she's all nonchalant about the whole thing. You've also gained 1 supply because her maid did wrap some food up for us, so from 6 we're up to 7 now, and that's all for now. So we're done over here, cool. Just a really easy one to actually kind of undertake really fast here. Now we're going to launch again. Our goal right now is going to be Vanderbride, which is that we're kind of headed to. Now, I talked about a bat. The bat itself, if you hit the Z key, it'll send the bat to kind of reconnaissance the area, and if there's any sort of location or any sort of landmark, it'll tell you. So right now, Vanderbride is a long way to the northwest, so we're going to click this to mark it on our map. Our map, you can bring it up with the C key over here, and it'll kind of show you what's going on with the map itself. There's a lot to, as you can see, uncover. We're burly over here, so there's so much of this goddamn world, it's not even funny right now. But I think Vanderbride is going to be somewhere up here, and then Hunter's Keep is over here, Falcon is over here. So that's all good to know. There is possibly a pirate coming after us right now, so I'm going to show off some of the combat here really quickly. Has this guy spotted me? He did spot me. You can tell that he spotted you because you have those 3 exclamation points and he fucking hit me from afar. Now, the combat is actually different from what it was back in the preview build that I covered a while back. Back in the preview build, you kind of took turns of fighting each other. Now, you actually fight in real combat time. I took that battle really bad, by the way. It wasn't supposed to take any hull damage. When you fight these guys, you kind of want to shut off your lights and actually try to get as close to them and behind them as possible, because then they can't charge up their weapons to actually shoot you. So it's better to turn off your lights, try to surprise them, ambush them, and get behind them, and then just basically charge up your own cannons and then hit them while they don't hit you. But unfortunately for me, I took that the wrong way. So taking damage already is actually pretty bad. Loot and scuttle her. She's a vile old vessel, and these seas aren't safe. Take what you can and move on. So, lean pickings. These pinnacles don't sail far from their hidden harbors, but there's something in the back of the hold. You now have 1 cache of curiosities. A stout crate. Crates, the source of sustenance, the fundamental elements of cargo. So we're going to open this up, and we got 2 fuel for our work, and that's about it. So hey, 2 extra fuel is nothing to actually sneeze at. There's also some bats over here. We're going to kind of get involved with them, although bats I'm not really good at fighting because with ships, you kind of just want to get as close as possible to them and just circle around them. Bats, I'm not entirely sure how to fight them without taking damage yourself, so I should turn my lights off, which I just did right now. Hopefully that'll give me some little obscurity coming to that. I'm going to get close to them as possible as well, and I'm going to hope that how it works is that they actually have to charge at you, so as long as I get close to them, boom, they didn't actually attack me. Killing them is going to give us some stuff over here. So, now that we've killed them, we can gather up their corpses for more food, and this will actually increase our overall food supply, or you could also dispose of the corpse, and this will slightly reduce terror. And I think terror is actually at a pretty good level right now, so we're going to actually put this to our supply. So if you gain 1 extra supply, so now we have 8. Once your supply bar or your hunger bar hits over here, they'll actually eat, and this will go back down to 7. So we got that one done. Cool. Now that we've done this, let me go over here to this ship. Oh, this is a random event. Never seen this one before. A fallen snow. Now and then, rocky fragments fall from the roof of the Neat. The decks of older ships are packed with scars. The sound is one no landlubber knows, and no sailor will ever forget. This one has matched the glass of a deck binnacle. Ill omen, one sailor cries. The god in the roof, Storm is angry. So we could do nothing. Storm, one of the 3 nameless gods of the sea, an absurd superstition, or you can make a sacrifice to avert misfortune. And the story's Storm is the noisiest, angriest, and least responsible of the gods. Better not take any chances. So, or that's reasonable, I should say, not responsible. So, if we sacrifice 1 food, this will probably appease the angry storm god over here. So because we're going to be captains and believe in the sea, we're going to actually go ahead and sacrifice the food we just got to make sure that we appease this god over here. So you lost 1 supply, you lost 1 terror, so instead of 3 we're down to 2 now. You know something of the 3 gods of the sea, and you now have Storm's attention as well. Alrighty, so that was actually pretty good. We're going to turn our lights on. Turn your lights on when you're not in combat because your terror bar does go up faster when your lights are off. We're going to dock over here and probably call it an episode here, I would say. So let me just dock. Boomski. We're going to deal with this afterwards, and we're going to continue going forward, or north, I should say, to Vanderbilt to drop off the colonists and see what happens from afar over there. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Leave a thumbs up, leave a like. The support does mean a lot. If you know anything more about Sunless Sea than I do, you want to leave some tips, let me know in the comments, though. More tips, the better. I'll probably be able to survive longer. And leave your thoughts and opinions in the game. Other than that, I will catch you next time.